Some of the content in this podcast does not belong to me and is displayed for entertainment purposes only. Step to the throne. The Goldie Gossip Podcast. Step to the throne. Oh.
Lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? I'm lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Tell me how you love me more and how you think I'm sexy, babe. That you don't want nobody else. You don't want this guy. You don't want that guy. You wanna touch yourself when you see me. Tell me how you love my body and how I make you feel, babe. You wanna roll with me. You wanna hold with me. You wanna stay warm and get out of the cold with me. I just love to hear you say it. It makes a man feel good, baby. Tell me you depend on me. I need to hear it. I'm lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? I'm lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Baby, you're the perfect shape. Baby, you're the perfect way. Treat me like my birthday. I want it this way. I want it that way. I want it. Tell me you don't want me to stop. Tell me it would break your heart that you love me and all my dirty. You wanna roll with me. You wanna hold with me. You wanna make eyes and get know what you want. I just love to hear you sing. It makes a man feel good, baby. I'm lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? I'm lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? 'Cause you will tell me.
Welcome, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, to the 99th edition of the Goldie Gossip Podcast.
Oh, baby.
It's your boy Goldie Himalaya.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Lost without you.
Let's do the flip. All right. Let's stop that. Let's drop that like it's hot. Y'all know how we do. Let's drop that. Kill that. Let's go over to the fireplace. And that's the flip. God damn it. Where's it? There we go. All right, guys. Let's get right into some Goldie gossip. That's right. Guys, I want to do a piece on Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer Lewis is a very famous actress. I got to admit, when I first saw her, I didn't like her that much because she plays the bitchy girl, you know. But it's okay. I saw her on an interview with the Breakfast Club. And she was wonderful. You know what? Bottom line, she's just a sister like everybody else in Hollywood, trying to get their grind on and make their money. But anyways, I saw a clip on TMZ about Jennifer Lewis, and she had a very, very bad accident. So what I wanted to do before I talk about it and do my piece, I'm going to show you a clip of Jennifer Lewis on TMZ. Check it out.
Can you kind of just tell the story, because it is a harrowing story, and thank God we can look and we can look at you right now and know you've healed, which is just so great.
Listen, it was an unsafe deck that I walked out on. It was pitch black. You see that little area there between that little fence? There was nothing. There was no sign. There was no railing. There was nothing there. And it was pitch black out there with little light on the deck. Had there been a sign, I would have seen it. You see, caution. But I walked, and guys, before I knew it, I was on the ground. Oh. I could not move. I was in pitch black. I was unaware that there were wild animals down there. At that point, I was unaware. I was able to wake up my traveling partner, Lori. I screamed. Thank God she woke up. And the Maasai warriors came and got me and saved me.
And so they ended up having to airlift you. You end up in Nairobi.
Doctors Without Borders came and got me.
Yeah.
Wow. And airlifted me out of the Serengeti, took me from Tanzania into Kenya. I had a 9-hour surgery. They said I would be in there for ICU 6 days and 10 days in the hospital. But let me just talk about the people in Nairobi, guys. They took such good care of me. I mean, come on, I was in Pampers, okay? They picked me up like I was a baby. They had to wash me. I could not move. I couldn't walk for 8 months after this. I didn't want y'all to know I had fallen until I was able to tell you how I got up. Anybody can fall. How do you get up? How I fought to get up. Every day, physical therapy. They would come for 2 hours, but I would work for 8 hours into the night. That girl I was before I fell. Did not know how not to get up. I didn't know how not to get up. My soul was screaming on the helicopter. Whatever this is, Jenny, whatever this is, you'll come back. You'll come back. And I'm back.
So that was a clip, guys, of Jennifer Lewis. I'm so happy that she survived that tragic situation. And so I want to move on to another true Detroit and LA story. Another true Hollywood and Detroit story. Check it out. Before I do this, I want to say that you remember I did a podcast about Smokey Robinson and the connection between my family and Smokey's family. I told you that I knew his sister Jerry and Jackie, which is more like his parents because they really looked after Smokey. And he had nephews, Keith and Daryl. Keith and Daryl. In addition to that, he had a nephew by the name of Clifford Burston. Now, when I was going to Northern High School on Claremont and Woodward, so many girls thought that I was Clifford. Clifford was actually my twin. He was a little bit taller than me, but the way he wore his hair and the way I wore my hair back then was identical. And we were both light-skinned. And girls used to walk up to me and swear that I was Cliff. They'd say, Cliff, what's up? And they would grab me and hug me. And then they would stand back and look and say, you ain't Cliff. I say, no, I'm not Cliff. And other people would talk to him, and they would talk to me, and they would say, there's a dude that looks just like you. He looks just like you, dude. All the girls were saying I look like Clifford. So one day I was in Northern High School in my music class. And when class was over, Clifford, he was laughing, and he had a side profile to me. He backed into the room and he was laughing, and I saw him and I say, that looks like me. And I knew then that that was Clifford Burston. So I went out and we met, and he said, yeah, man, everybody's saying we look alike and everything. But anyways, I'm going to get on with the story. His nephews, Keith and Daryl, when I used to go over to Jerry and Jackie's house to visit with my dad, Keith and Daryl were little. They were short. You know, they were much younger than me. And I knew them, but later on, I went to LA. When I got to LA, I stayed here for a while, and later on, those guys got older, and they created a group. You can Google it. It's just Google Keith and Daryl, the Smokey Robinson Experience. They've got so many interviews talking about Smokey and talking about their chance to come to Hollywood. So anyways, I'm living in Hollywood. I'm gigging with my band, M3. And Keith and Daryl came to Los Angeles because they were going to be on American Bandstand. Yep. I'm taking you back. I'm taking you way back. They were on American Bandstand. So right now, I know you guys don't know who Keith and Daryl is, but I'm going to show you a clip along with Smokey Robinson on American Bandstand, and I'll talk about it after the clip. Check it out.
We're going hopping today, where things are popping. Up to the Philadelphia way, we're gonna drop it on all the music they play on the bandstand. Bandstand.
All right, I bring two young men with me. Now, wait, step in here. Before we interrogate these two, I promise to ask your uncle a question. Why do you keep working?
I love it when we're cruising together. No, I really do. I really love what I'm doing, and today, Dick, it's a different ballgame for me because, like I said, when I was with the group, we worked practically all the time, and now I'm at home most of the time, you know. So when I go out and do something, it really is something that I look forward to, and I tried retirement. You know, after I left the group, I tried, you know, not recording or any of that, and I was miserable. So,
All right, now
stop.
I sure hope so. Now stop right there, because first of all, introduce me to these guys.
Okay, this is Keith, and this is Daryl, and these are my nephews, and
They're your sister's kids.
yes.
Why didn't you record them when they were little kids until they got big? I mean, here they are, two handsome young men ready to take over the world. Have you been bugging him for a long time?
Sure, of course.
How old are you now?
22 to 21.
Well, I mean, that's a long time to wait.
Well, yeah, you sounded like them. Why didn't I record? That's what they used to ask me. Why don't you record us? Because, you know, after all, Stevie Wonder's recording and the Jackson 5, I always told them that as soon as they brought me a high school diploma, then I would record them.
Now, wait a minute. Just let me stop you then. This is serious. Why, with all of your success, and you've seen people who haven't got a full education do well, why would you insist they do it?
Because, Dick, as you know, the music business is very, very shaky, and it's very hard, and there are no guarantees. I don't care how good your record is, how good your act is, how good all the factors are. There's no guarantees that you're going to be a hit or that you're going to have a hit record. So you need something that you can fall back on that is really something that's a positive kind of force in your life that you'll have in future years. I mean, in case it doesn't work for them, they can always do something.
It was good advice, you know that, since you're now old and mature. What's the toughest thing about working with him?
Well, it's not really tough working with Smokey because we love what we do and we really appreciate him and the knowledge that he gives us. So it's a beautiful thing.
Did he write this song?
Yeah, Smokey wrote this.
Did he produce it?
Hal Davis and Smokey produced it.
Would you gentlemen please go up top on the towers, because I understand there's a long intro. Take your spots up there.
So that was a clip, guys, of Keith and Daryl. But right now, guys, I gotta take you back. I gotta take you way back to the 1980s. I had just got here in Los Angeles, to Hollywood, and I had established myself. Like I said, I was gigging with my band M3, and Keith and Daryl came out, and they remembered me. They said, "Yeah, I remember your dad. My dad's name was C. Tenay. He lived at 559 Belmont, just the east side of Woodward Avenue, and Smokey's people lived up and down those blocks as well." So they were cool with my dad, and they were always hanging out with my father. My father gave some of the bombest parties, barbecues and homemade ice cream and, you know, all of the festivities for the adults. But anyways, when I got to LA, they remembered me, and I don't know how they got my number, but they gave me a call. When they gave me a call, I said, cool. They were living right off of Sunset in West Hollywood. And I was living there too. I was still working at Children's Hospital. And I hooked up with Daryl. Their last name is Burston. Keith and Daryl Burston. I hooked up with them, and they took me to Studio City. Yeah, they took me to Studio City, to this nice condominium. I was jazzed because these guys were getting ready to go to the top. You know, you've seen them on the clip on American Bandstand, and they were even on Soul Train, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, we got at the condominium and we partying, you know, we smoking weed and drinking. And they wanted to play basketball. All those guys love basketball. And Diana Ross's brother, his name is T-Boy Ross. Rest in peace, T-Boy Ross. He's passed away. But T-Boy Ross was there, and we were all hanging out, and they decided to play basketball. Guys, you've heard my stand-up comedy. I suck at sports. I suck! But I was so jazzed to be with celebrities, you know, Diana Ross's brother, T-Boy, and Keith and Daryl in Studio City. We started playing basketball, guys, and it was terrible. I had a good time, but T-Boy Ross, Diana Ross's brother, was on my team. And I committed a foul against him, my own team member. I was so embarrassed. It sucked. But anyways, Keith and Daryl, they showed me a lot of love. And we hung out in Studio City. And that was my not only Detroit experience, because I grew up with them when they were little, but for them to become, well-known artists, and Smokey put them on, you saw the clip, the guys have done great. I don't know what they're doing right now, but if you want to see more about Keith and Daryl and Smokey Robinson's personal family, Jerry, Jackie, Clifford, all you got to do is Google Smokey Robinson and Google Keith and Daryl. That's it, guys. That's my Detroit story and my Hollywood story. And good night. I'm going to close this out with another Goldie Himalaya video. Now, this is a very special song for me. I got here in Hollywood, and this was 1980. All I had was a guitar player. His name is Don Williams. And my bass player, Randall Duke Slayton. The baddest bass player in the world. That's right. It was just me and him. And Don was living in Inglewood. Back then in the 80s, Inglewood wasn't nearly as bad or had the reputation that it does now. But anyways, Don picked me up in his green 1965 Mustang. And he took me to his apartment in Inglewood. Just me, him, and my bass player Randall sat in his living room. And this is the very first song that I wrote when I got to LA. So I'm going to close this out with one of the very first songs that I wrote in Los Angeles. Good night. See you next podcast, and it's going to be 100, and it's going to come strong. I might even get banned from the internet for the crazy shit that I'm going to do on podcast 100. Good night.
When I think about your love leaving me, back into your arms I love me, back into your arms something I left, into your arms I love me. I know that, oh, there's no one wrong. running back into my mind. If any other girl ain't worth my time, oh, I know you better. Oh, please, someone about you. I wanna stay with you. Oh, the rest of my life. Sha-la-la-la-la, 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 I wanna stay with you. The rest of my life. I know